Hey, welcome to another edition of Spot Training, teaching you to do more anywhere. My name is Josh. I'm going to be your personal trainer today. And today we're going to be working on core compression work. You can see this guy right here is going to detail all the workouts. We've got the warm-up, we've got the primary circuit, and the cool-down. So for the warm-up, we're going to be starting off with some overhead washing machines. Basically, bring our arms up over our head with a little strap. You'll need a strap or resistance band to get started. You can always use a towel or whatever you've got lying around. Then after that, you'll be doing standing cross knee to elbow, bringing your hands to, your knees to your elbow, going opposite arm, opposite direction, and then a alternating Spider-Man crunch, push-up position, and you'll basically crawl around like your Spider-Man, followed by a bicycle knee to elbow. You can do bicycle kicks, you can do the knee to elbow, you can do it with your body floating, your legs floating the whole time, or starting off flat on the floor. For the primary circuit, you've got a super crunch or a V-sit. For that one, you can certainly do either variation, and I'll give some progressions and regressions for it. You can also do it weighted if you feel like you're strong enough. Just try to avoid any sort of excessive kipping, really throwing your arms into it kind of motions. You want to keep it smooth and steady, so that way you don't throw out your back or your neck or anything like that. After that is going to be a plank, standard plank position. You can do it on your hands, your elbows. I'll probably be doing it on my hands to save my elbows the contact on the floor. Got a nice cement surface that I'm working on here. Followed by some roll-ups, some really excellent stretching work for your back. It'll decompress the back while working out your abs. And then an isometric knee press, something that's not so fun, that'll get your hips going. And I'll show that. It looks like what it sounds like. You're basically on your back pressing on your knees. So we'll start off with that overhead washing machine. You're gonna grab a strap, any kind. I'm gonna be using a little resistance band here. You'll bring it up over the head, feet pointing straight ahead, glutes tight, core braced. Twist left to right. Goal here is to stretch out those obliques, warm those up, and also warm up that back. You don't want to do any sort of excessive motion, so make sure that you're keeping your hips steady. They will twist a little bit with it, but you do want to keep them braced so that way you're stretching out those internal obliques. After that, it's going to be the cross knee to elbow. You're going to bring your arms up over your head. You'll go opposite hand to opposite knee. Crossing those over, warming up your hips, warming up your obliques a little bit there. Then you're going to do a Spider-Man crunch, and I'll give you two variations. You can do it standing with your knees coming out to the side, arms up overhead, kind of like you're climbing a wall like you're Spider-Man. You can do it laying, where you're on your back, and again, bring your knees out to the side, like you're climbing a wall, like Spider-Man. Or you can do it from a plank position, with your hands flat on the floor, chest tight, armpit squeezed. Excuse me, Poppy. Go. Core braced, and again, bring those knees out to the side, like you're climbing a wall, like Spider-Man. And then the last is going to be the bicycle kick, knee to elbow, just basically one leg at a time. You can either touch down with your hands, knee to elbow, hand to knee, or you can go full knee to elbow. And if you really want to push yourself, you can go with your legs floating the entire time. That's up to you. I'll probably keep it simple myself.
1.
All right,
Exercise.
there's the timer. We've got 45 seconds of work, starting with those overhead washing machines. Glutes tight, core brace. You want to stay tall in your abdomen. As you twist, your mobility is going to be a little bit tried. So you want to stretch out those obliques, warm those up. I liken it to wringing out a towel. The more you twist, it's kind of like twisting a towel when you're trying to wring it out. And that's exactly what we're doing with our abdomen, our internal organs, our obliques. We're wringing out any toxicity buildup inside of that
3,
abdomen.
2, 1. Rest.
Kind of massages the liver, massages the kidneys. I don't know, I don't have like a microscope inside of my stomach. But that's what I read. That's what I've heard. Standing cross knee to elbow.
2,
Arms up over the head.
1.
Opposite knee,
Exercise.
opposite elbow. Breathe nice and steady. This is a warm-up. Shouldn't be too difficult. You don't want to push yourself to a point where you're already getting sore or exhausted. Save that for the primary workout. But you do want to get your heart rate elevated a little bit. Not to the point where you can't talk. If you're having trouble speaking, then you're probably in an anaerobic state. We want to be in an aerobic state where we're just elevating our heart rate enough that we're able to hold a steady conversation. Easy test. Just say your
3,
ABCs.
2,
You
1.
gotta take a breath every
Rest.
3 letters, and you're probably in an anaerobic state. After that's going to be that Spider-Man crawl. You'll bring the knee out to the side and up. I'm going to start off with the standing one. Take it easy on myself.
2, 1. Exercise.
And again, you can do this laying down or on the floor. If you're in super good shape, you've got 6-pack abs, you're more than welcome to hop on that plank. I got big old heavy legs, so I'm just going to knock it out to the side, warm up that Spider-Man. Getting toasty, nice and smooth, steady breathing. Got some Texas allergies going on too, so you might hear some sniffles out of me. 5, 4, 3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1. Rest.
And last is going to be that bicycle crunch. Opposite hand to opposite knee or elbow to knee. You can do it
2,
flat or legs floating.
1.
You can do it
Exercise.
elbows or hands. It's up to you. This first set, I'm going to take it easy again. Muscles are still a little stiff from last night's rest. Because when you're in bed, you get stiff from doing nothing. Breathe through it. "15 seconds. Five, 4.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
I check my sound real quick. I'm doing a single take on these, so yep, looks good to me. All right, overhead washing machines are next.
2, 1. Exercise.
Feet a little wider than hip distance, glutes tight, core brace, tall, tall, tall. And your arms tall, and your abdomen. And this one should be really easy. Should be really smooth and steady and slow. I'm going to get a little bit tighter in my resistance band. Just warming up those obliques, warming up the back, warming up the hips. Keep your legs steady, avoid any twisting in the knees. You might have a little bit in the hips, which is fine.
3, 2, 1.
Nice and smooth.
Rest.
Good. Next up, it's going to be that cross knee to elbow. Arms up over the head. Bring the hands down, the knee
2,
down.
1.
I'm sorry, the knee up,
Exercise.
the knee down. Opposite knee, opposite elbow. Again, just warming up. I know it's not sprinting. We're doing push-ups. We're not trying to work on cold muscles though. It's not the ideal way to get your day started. I get started with something smooth, something easy, before we get to that tough stuff. Those big ab workouts. Warm up those hips. 15 seconds. And I'm going to hop on the floor for this set of Spider-Man crunches. Again, you're welcome to do it standing, laying, or planking. I'm going to knock out laying
3,
for the sake
2,
of creating some variations.
1. Rest.
So I'll hop on my back. I'm going to brace my tailbone by placing my hand underneath it. And then I'll rotate my hip out
2,
and crunch out
1.
to the side,
Exercise.
targeting that external oblique, that surface oblique. My hips needed this. I didn't realize they were so tight. I just did a sprint training video on Monday. It's Thursday today. So I definitely had some time to recover, but my hips probably weren't stretched enough. But that's why we warm up. That way we can stretch it out and make sure that everything's nice and toasty before we get going.
Three, two, one. Rest.
All right, and then last is going to be that bicycle knee to elbow, going opposite leg to opposite hand. You either do it hand to knee or knee to elbow. I'm going to push myself for the knee to elbow this time. Try to get a nice steady smooth crunch going.
Exercise.
Let's go. That way I give myself a little sit up along with it. And get a little more steady so that way I'm on the camera, huh? Just noticed I wasn't. My dog Poppy, she thinks I'm just trying to lay down with her. Dog pile up. Keep it smooth, keep it steady. Avoid any herky-jerky motions. Don't want to crank that neck. Just want to warm up the abs, warm up the hips.
Three, two, one. Rest.
Last round of warm-ups and we'll get to the primary workout. Feeling good. Got a little sweat going. Breathing steady, not hard.
One.
Just steady.
Exercise.
My body definitely knows that something's coming. Nice wide base, toes pointed straight ahead. Slight bend to the knees, glutes tight, core braced. Think tall. As you stretch. I like to breathe on my stretches, use that extra oxygen intake to extend my stretch. Use that lung to push from the inside. But there's only one wrong way to breathe.
Three,
and that's not
two, one. Rest.
Who said that? I did. No. Bruce Lee said it. It was a good one. You know, famous martial artist. Kind of a big deal. Put my Swiffer over there. We're not going to need that today.
Two, one.
Cross knee to elbow.
Exercise.
Opposite knee to opposite elbow. Start with the arms up overhead. Warming up those hips. Warming up the obliques. Warming up the abdomen that we use to lift our legs. Got my first bead of sweat. It's a good start. Not even breathing heavy yet, but my body's certainly warming up. 15 seconds.
Three, two, one. Rest.
All right, next is going to be that Spider-Man crunch. I need to text my girlfriend real quick. Don't mind me, short edit. We're going to go into a plank position for this one. Make sure you're squeezing your chest, squeezing your armpits. You don't have to do the plank if you don't want to. I will. Arms a little beat from a push-up workout this past week, but that's fine. I'm going to keep working through it.
Three, two, one. Rest.
All right. Got that last minute text in. Last bicycle crunch. I'm going to go full legs float.
One. Exercise.
Challenge myself. elbows are up, but good. Let's go smooth for the remainder. Again, it's just a warm-up. I don't want to push myself. Opposite hand to opposite knee. I am getting into a anaerobic state, which means I'm exceeding a little bit past
2, 1.
working with oxygen
Rest.
alone. And that's good. That's good. And to my warm-up. Time. Whew. All right. Going into the primary workout. Again, we've got the super crunch, which is basically collapsing your chest into your knees, or the V-sit if you want to do it a little more advanced. I'll probably do the V-sit for at least the first 30 seconds of work. You'll get a minute rest in between each set. Second set is plank. Squeeze the chest, squeeze the armpits, hold the tabletop. Third is going to be the roll-up. We'll be decompressing our back and using that spine as a nice little rocking chair. After that is going to be the knee press. On the knee press, we'll be pressing down into our knees, working out our hips, getting them nice and exhausted. Real small muscle group, doesn't get nearly enough attention. All right, we got a 4-minute timer going.
Warm up.
I'll give some explanation on this workout. And just plug this in real quick. My laptop charger, not a bad idea to use. Okay, so we're on the floor. What am I doing? I'm standing. Let me go ahead and angle this camera a little lower since we'll be on the floor all day for the workout. So starting with the super crunch, pretty simple motion. You're going to be bringing your chest to your knees to your chest. You can do it through a few different variations. If you want to start with your knees bent, this will be the easiest on your core and the easiest on the back. Just make sure to keep your hip flexors nice and tight. This will definitely help with making sure that your tailbone is lifted and that you're supporting your back. Arms at the sides. You'll bring the knees up, bring the chest up at the same time. 1, 2. If you want a little bit more than that, in terms of resistance, you can do it with the legs flat, arms still at the sides. 1, 2, or you can have the hands at your sides as well. 1, 2. If you want to push yourself, you can put your arms up, keep your legs extended. 1 for a V-sit, 2, 3, or arms at the side still for the V-sit. 1, 2. Either way, you've got a minute. After that is a plank. You can do it on your hands, you can do it on your elbows, you can do it on your toes, you can do it on your knees. Either which way you do it, you're going to squeeze your chest, squeeze your armpits, you're going to squeeze your rib cage down and your hips up, and you're going to squeeze your glutes. Hands and knees is going to be the easiest variation, followed by knees and elbows, followed by hands and toes, followed by elbows and toes. And if that's still not enough for you, you can go into an extended plank and bring your elbows out a little bit further. After the plank, you've got a roll up. This one's probably my favorite of all the workouts today because it's kind of fun. You can start in a seated position. You're gonna brace your core around your back. You'll tuck your knees into your chest, bring your arms up over your head and roll onto your shoulders. Then kick your legs out, throw your arms forward, back to a full sit. If you want to make it a little tougher, you can start with the knees bent and try to wrap your hands around the knees the whole time. And this will actually require more core support because you're not using the advantage of your legs. Either way, it's designed to get your heart rate up there, so expect to be a little exhausted by the end of it. Won't be a full VO2 max, but certainly should be tough. Last is going to be a knee press. You'll take a lay down on your back. You're going to bring your knees up to your abdomen. You're going to put your hands on top of your thighs. Not on top of your knees, on top of your thigh. And you're just going to gently press. The harder you press, the harder it's going to be. Eventually you might even relieve your press so that way you can shake it off. But either way, you're going to try to go for a full minute. If you make it to the full minute, congratulations. Your hips are probably very strong and very capable. If you can't make it the full minute, don't worry, that's very common. A lot of hips are a little too lax from excessive sitting and excessive standing. So they might be a little exhausted pretty quick. I know mine will be. My legs are nice and heavy. All right, we're starting with that V-sit and super crunch.
1. Exercise.
Again, you want to make sure you're keeping your hips braced at the pelvic floor. That way your tailbone is lifted. You do it with the knees bent and up into the chest. If you want a nice and easy one, or you can do it legs flat, or you can do it legs straight. I'm going to go for the V-sit for a few reps. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh. Go for the knees bent on these. The remainder. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Coming up on a minute of rest. 9, 10.
2.
I got 20.
1.
How about you?
Rest.
20 is a good number for me. 1 minute of rest. We'll be doing a plank next. Abdomen will be a little bit taxed. Either way, try to draw your rib cage down, your hips up. The plank is really a full body motion because you're working everything from your shoulders and your arms down to your toes. Mostly the front half though. That being said, keeping your glutes tight helps. Keeping your shoulders and your armpits squeezed, your chest tight helps. Don't just get into a plank position and expect the work to do itself. You got to put in the effort. Poppy, what are you chewing on? Yeah. All right, I'm going to start off on my hands and toes. I'll probably move down to my elbows and knees.
3,
Let's go for 30 seconds
2,
minimum on hands
1.
and toes.
Exercise.
Squeeze the chest, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the armpits. Oof, my arms are tired. You know what, let me go elbows. Because my triceps are killing me from my push-up workout the other day. Not to brag or anything. Glutes tight, core braced. Yeah, this is much easier on my arms, much harder on my abdomen. Which is fine. I'll survive. 30 seconds remaining. I'm going to go to knees for the remainder. The tighter you are on your abdomen, the tighter you'll be outside of this workout. So brace those abs like you're wearing a corset. Draw the rib cage down, the hips up. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2,
1. Rest.
Oh, that's rough. That's good stuff though. Make sure you're squeezing those glutes, keeping that back flat while you're doing these planks. If your butt's high in the air while you're not doing a plank, you're not getting a core workout, you're more so getting an arm workout, shoulder workout, and stretching out your hamstrings. It's called a down dog. Great move if you're trying to do yoga and stretch out your hamstrings. Not so great if you're trying to work out your core, like today. Next is going to be those roll-ups. I consider myself a bit of a connoisseur at these. Why? Because I get up out of bed every day. It's the same motion. You can start with your legs straight and kick them out in order to use the momentum to your advantage. Or you can bend your knees and keep your core braced the whole time. Try to get your back as rounded as possible. Don't usually say that, but I do in this
2,
case.
1. Exercise.
All right, kick those legs back. Bring those arms up. Kick them forward. If you're just starting out on these. Or if you want to push yourself, you do it with your knees tucked the whole time, and that actually takes a lot more of your core and a lot less of everything else. Steady pacing, steady breathing. Like I said, this is kind of an aerobic workout. It's very full body. I'm going to go back, get that big kick in, and finish off. Arms up over the head, knees into the chest, big kick, roll your weight forward.
3, 2, 1, rest.
All right. Next is my least favorite, the knee press. It's not so hard on the aerobics. It's a lot harder on a very, very small muscle group around your hip flexors. But you're only as strong as your weakest link, and typically a lot of us are weak around our hips. And it's not your own fault, it's due to evolution. Frankly, we don't use our hips anymore because we're sitting in a chair or standing on a flat, solid surface. And if you want that muscle chain nice and strong, work on the weakest links. Hence the knee press. Again, you'll have your knees tucked up to your abdomen, your hands on top of your thighs. Your knees are going to press up, your hands are going to press down, and the resistance created between them is going to be a workout. I'm not starting until the last minute
3,
personally.
2,
2,
1,
let's go.
exercise.
Just press. Squeeze between the two of them. Again, hands on top of the thighs, not on top of the knees. Top of the thighs. The tighter you squeeze, the harder the workout. We are going for a full minute. If you want to go for a nice strong squeeze, it's up to you. Just make sure you keep working. Keep yourself honest. 30 seconds. Ugh. Shake that out a little bit. I'm going to squeeze real tight for the last 15 seconds. Here we go. Make sure to breathe. Press, press, press. Knees as hard as you can. Hands as hard as you can. 5, 4,
3, 2, 1, rest.
2 more rounds. Then we're done. Too legit. Too legit to quit. We'll be starting off with those tucks. Check my messages real quick. "30 seconds. I'm going to go for another 20 reps in this minute. It's only 1 rep every 3 seconds. Not too bad. If you want to go to 15, it's 1 rep every 4 seconds. 12, 1 rep every 5 seconds. And other math. 10 every 6 seconds. Excuse
3,
me, Poppy. I got to
2,
work out. Go.
1,
Go.
exercise.
I'm about to embarrass me in front of these reporters. Make sure to keep your hip flexor tight. You want to round out that back and keep that tailbone lifted before you even start moving. It's a small little motion. This is me relaxed and throwing my back into it. Squeeze those hips, close up that gate. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Ooh, that abdomen. 19. One more.
3, 2,
20.
1, rest.
Ooh. Rad. Next up is going to be a plank. I'm going to go elbows and toes for the first 30 seconds again. And then drop down to the knees for the last 30 seconds. It's my personal choice. If you want to scale it to yourself, you're going to do elbows and toes. You can extend those forearms out to make it a little tougher. Do the full minute. Or you can do hands and knees, or hands and elbows and knees the whole time to make it a little easier. It's your choice. But either way, flat surface going from your shoulders to your knees, shoulders to toes. No butts in the air. No butts in the air at all. And if your triceps aren't fresh, then definitely don't do arms extended like me.
3,
I'm gonna
2,
do elbows down.
1. Exercise.
Let's go. Squeeze the butt. Squeeze the rib cage down, the hips up. Squeeze your chest, squeeze your shoulders. All of those little things help. And as you can see, my shoulders, but you can't see my butt. Avoid that lift. Otherwise, you're just working out your shoulders and you're not doing as effective as a plank. Going down to knees. Now. Oh. See how I raised my butt? It's because I was cheating. Let me go to the hands. I want these last 30 seconds to be an effective plank. Not going to compromise the butt lift. Let's go a little bit tougher. 10 seconds. It got easy towards the end.
2, 1.
Time.
Rest.
That was fun. Halfway through the workout, 6 more sets. 1 more super crunch, 1 more plank, 2 more roll-ups, my personal favorite. 2 more knee presses. Not my favorite at all. I apologize if you can hear that squeaking noise in the background. I think they're doing some construction down the road. I'm pretty loud though. I think you can hear me over it. That's what I think anyways. Alright, we got those roll-ups next. Again, if you're just starting off with these, start with your legs extended. You're going to bring your arms up, kick your legs back up into your chest. Keep it smooth. Don't
3,
crank your neck while
2,
doing these. And then kick
1.
out, throw your arms forward.
Exercise.
Except, keep that core braced so that way you have a nice rounded spine and you'll feel a good amount of decompression in it. That's what I love most about it. If you want to push yourself a little bit, keep the knees tucked the whole time. And that requires a lot more core conditioning. Plus you can knock out your reps a lot faster. "30 seconds. "15. I'm going to finish out with my knees tucked. It's a little tougher, but I like it. 5, 4, 3,
2, 1. Rest.
Heart rate's going, not too bad. I'd say that it's a mild aerobic jog. And a workout that's full of muscular structure work. Got this little aerobic jewel right in the middle. You do these tucks for cardio. Great way to avoid any high impact work like running. Depending on how you run, of course. That's for another day. Check out my VO2 Max sprint workout. And you'll be able to build up a bounce in the toes like I don't have. Flat feet. Flintstone flat feet. Alright, 10 seconds, we're on that knee press. Simple rule, push your knees against your hands and push your hands up against your knees.
3, 2,
Tuck
1.
those knees up.
Exercise.
Oh. The harder you compress, the harder it is. Keep your gait normal, neutral, with your feet right above your hips, not centered like this. Otherwise you're opening up your gait. Push down, push up, same time. You might see that I shift my hands down. That's actually to make it harder on myself. I can get a firmer press down here than up here. The harder you press, the harder it is. Oh, I'm going to shake it out, give myself a nice long press for the last 15 seconds.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
Oh. Ooh. Stretching out a little bit. That pops my back, shifting my knees side to side. All right. One more round. Starting off with those super crunches and V-sits. This should be the hardest set, considering it's the last set. But if you find that you have anything left in the gas tank, do more reps. Try to challenge yourself. Do more weight. Put some weight in your hands and between your feet and between your knees. Push yourself. I think I will. Got a little medicine ball that I've been hiding. Try to use this for some of the workouts for this last set. May not look it, but there's something going on underneath this abdomen of mine. This big old abdomen.
3,
All right,
2,
last set.
1.
Sets.
Exercise.
Let's get a little ballistic with it. Make sure to keep that hip braced, gate closed. Oh, 17. Oh. 18, 19.
3, 2,
Little bit
1.
of a cheat at the end there.
Rest.
But I got my 20. That was rough. Okay, going to planks next. Oh, that was a lot. At last. Tough, that was right. That was tough. As you get more exhausted, you might be eliminated on carbs. Your brain runs off of carbs. Just so you know why I can't speak right. All right, last set of planks. Squeeze your chest, squeeze your armpits. Draw your rib cage down, your hips up, squeeze your butt. Straight line going from your shoulders to your
3,
toes or shoulders to your
2,
knees.
1. Exercise.
Yep. Sorry if I'm a little quiet, I'm zoning out, trying to focus on this plank. Making sure I'm using everything I can to get through it. Got a steady drip going on sweat, that's good. Looks like an IV drip. 10 seconds. I feel challenged.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
But that's up to me to do it. Time. And it's up to you to challenge yourself. There are progressions available to you and regressions available to you. It's easy to push yourself to a point that you're not challenged, you're failing, which is good. You do want to reach failure, opportunity for growth. There's also an opportunity to challenge yourself that you're not reaching failure at all. That can be good too, because you do want to be able to accomplish your workout and feel completed. But a really good workout is somewhere in between. Something that embraces the fact that you might fail, and also something that embraces that you might rise to the occasion and rise to that challenge. Roll up.
3,
Find the
2,
regression and progression that's
1.
going to be good for you.
Exercise.
Let's go. Oh. For every workout, there's an answer. You know what? Let me use the weight for this. I'm going to place it right here. Ooh, that's tough. Keep that gait steady. You might have seen my feet coming together. That means I'm opening up my gait. That's not good. Keep it neutral. If anything, squeeze your knees together. Makes it tougher. Oh, God. Or gosh. 15 seconds. Keep it going. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh.
3, 2,
Oh.
1.
That's-
Rest.
Let's see what my heart rate's at. I always count up to 6 and multiply it by 10 for a split second heart rate. It's not exact, but it's certainly good if you're just working out for yourself. 150. Certainly anaerobic. I'm going to check it towards the end of the minute as I recover. Again, I'm just counting 6 seconds. I'm looking at the timer, waiting for 6 seconds to pass. Every beat in between, I count it, multiply it by 10. I'm going to start now. $140. I'm recovering, so that's
3,
nice.
2,
Last press
1.
of the knee.
Exercise.
Go for it. I'm going to start low. Make sure this counts. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do it with the ball. Place that ball in your hands and press it up against your knees. Squeeze it. Just adding a little bit more weight to it. That's all it is. Squeeze those hips. Make sure your back is flat. If your back is rounding, take a breather. You want that tailbone lifted, not arched. Oh, that's tough. I'm going to finish the last 15 seconds strong. Push, push, push. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Push down, push up.
2,
3, 2,
1.
1.
Rest.
Oh. That was good. Moving on to the cool down. We're going to be on our hands and knees here in a moment for cat-cows. If you need to take a little breather, I'll give it to you. Just to reiterate the workout, today is core compressions. We are working on compressing our ribs to our hips. Some people call it the six-pack, all that other good stuff, but really, in the case of today, and in the case of most of my core days, I'm emphasizing the weak muscle chain at the hip, down here. It's not the lower abdomen, it's the hip. There's no such thing as a lower abdomen. It's a lower core. And it's at your hips. The muscle chain is only as strong as your weakest link. If you want to get good at leg lifts, sit-ups, hanging leg lifts, hanging knee raises, ball slams, I guarantee you focusing on those hips is going to be a big way to counteract all the sitting, the desk work, all the relaxation that you leave your hips through most of the day. All right, we're gonna start off with a cat-cow. I'm gonna back up and give you a side view on this one. You're gonna be arching your back in, bringing your arching your back out for a cat and a cow. When you're doing these, don't just drop your spine into it and expect the stretch to work. You want to also engage your tailbone by lifting it up, pressing your hips back. You want to engage your thoracic spine and your neck by lifting it up and extending it out. So we'll start off with that cow. Drop your hips, or I'm sorry, drop your abdomen down, lift your hips up, lift your tailbone up, lift your head up. Give me a nice long smile. Imagine your spine is a nice long smile. Cheshire cat smile. Brace your core and take some deep breaths. Whew. I'm feeling that hip workout. That's good. All right, now we're going to bring our tailbone down, bring our head down, but we still want to create some extension out of your spine, so it's very important to brace your core on this one, drawing your abdomen in. Push those shoulders out, push that back out, tilt your head down and your tailbone down. Brace the core nice and tight. Cow. Nice, tall, long smile. Cat. Cow, one more time. Cat, one more time. Good. All right. Next up, we've got an upward facing dog. You're gonna have those hands shoulder width. And you wanna brace like you're doing a plank. Squeeze your shoulder blades, squeeze your chest, and lift your head up. Keep your core braced, very important. Knees, feet, hip distance apart. Drop your hips forward, keeping that core braced, very, very important. You don't want any pressure on your lumbar. Lift your head up, clench your glutes, and extend that spine, particularly in front of the hips. Take some deep breaths into that lower abdomen. Anyone else's shoulders sore from the plank? Yeah, me too. Almost done. Good. Drop those hips back. Let's go into a lunging position. You're going to go into an overhead low lunge first. You got your right leg forward. I have my left. Just mirror me if you want to follow along. I'll get that right leg forward. You're going to draw that leg in. Thrust your hips forward, and I want you to interlock your fingers, bring them behind your head, and then extend as tall as you can as you thrust your hips into the floor. Take some nice deep breaths into your hips. Make sure to clench your glutes. You don't want to arch that lower back. The more your hips are under your back, the less lumbar extension you'll have. Squeeze that butt. Good. Now I want you to drop that opposite hand to that right leg, your left hand down to the floor. You're gonna reach your arm back behind you, your right arm, and if you're up for it, you can bend that back leg, pull that leg up into the butt for a twisted low lunge. Clench your glutes, thrust those hips into the floor, feel the stretch going on in your glute of your lead leg, your right leg, and your left hip. Good. Come on up. And last, we'll do a triangle. You're going to bring that left arm up into the air. Lift that shoulder up and reach. Clench your glutes, thrust forward. Reach down with the right arm and open up that oblique on the left side. Whew, my right oblique wants to cramp. I'm a little crazy. I like to feed my cramps though. For some odd reason, it relieves it. I personally am under the thought process that it squeezes out all that lactic acid buildup. And what do you know, my cramp is gone as I press into it. Good. We'll swap out to the other side. Bring that left leg forward. 3 more stretches and you're all done. Start off with that overhead lunge. Again, trail that left leg forward. Thrust your hips ahead. Make sure you're squeezing your glutes to avoid any hyperextension in the lumbar. Interlace your fingers. Bring them back behind your head first. Then reach up and over the head. As you start to feel release, thrust into the floor. And again, keep those glutes tight. You want to avoid any hyperextension of the lumbar, any tension in the lumbar. You don't want to be arcing your back. You want to be extending your hips. You're going to bring that right arm forward down to the floor. You're going to reach back with that left hand. Thrust the hips into it. Go into that twisted low lunge if you're up to it. You grab that right leg. Thrust the glutes into it. Stretch out that hip, that inner hip, and that glute on the left thigh. Ooh, my hips are feeling mobile today. They weren't a moment ago from all that sprint training I did on Monday. Today they're feeling much better after this core workout. All right, come on up. Go ahead and bring that left leg back in. Last stretch. We're going to go for that triangle one more time. Make sure you're keeping your glutes nice and braced, your core braced. You're going to reach that right hand up into the air. You're going to reach down with that left arm. Open up that oblique. Keep the core braced. Thrust through the glutes and extend out of that right oblique for a triangle lunge. Clench the glutes, very important. Don't just go into a position and expect the stretch to do itself. Just like with a workout or a run. Ooh, my back just popped. There is a proper form, there's a proper technique to stretching. And it's not stretching in the joints, it's stretching in the muscles. Stretching in the tissue surrounding your muscles. Fascial lining. Not stretching in the tissue around your joints where you could lose a fusion or something terrible like that from excessive stretching on cold muscles. Well, that's too much science, right? Y'all just came here for a workout and I hope you got it. So again, working core compressions, targeting the hips in particular. Going for a 1-to-1 ratio of work to rest with high repetitions. That way you get a nice aerobic circuit coupled with a little bit of strength training. I'm pooped. If y'all completed this workout, good job. If you didn't complete this workout, that's fine. Take a look at some of the regressions. If you felt like you were not challenged, shoot me a line. Let me know. I'd like to help you figure out ways that you can progress this workout to your athletic abilities. And if you feel like you failed, that's good. Embrace the failure and also shoot me a line and let me know of any issues you might have had, any workouts you might have had excessive trouble with, and I'll shoot you some progressions that you can do to move along and work along with this workout. Thank you again for joining me here on Spot Training. See you again on one of these interweb video workouts. My name's Josh. If y'all do have any questions, forget to drop a line. SpotMeTraining.com. And I think YouTube subscribers say something like, subscribe today. Links down here somewhere in the internet. All right. Thank you guys so much. Signing off and all that other jazz. Ron Burgundy. Trademark.